on are like, transitioning, and it's just
Well, that's the crazy thing, right? Not even just transitioning. You think about the Diddy stuff, the Suge Knight stuff. Like it's like a lot of our like moguls and CEOs ain't making it. You know what I'm saying? Simmons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
you froze for a second.
More than welcome, Ron. If you want to hop on, you want to hop on, Ron, as a host. Please, you're welcome. But yeah, man, it's sad that Irv, people, our generation ain't making it long, and it's scary.
Mm. But you wanna know what's even sadder is like the amount of like this he's suffering
Yeah,
and whatnot. And I'm literally, like I said, I wasn't aware. I immediately started Googling and searching, and the first shit that pops up is 50 Tropes.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, there's a time, like, I don't give a fuck, like, what it is that went on and whatnot. At some point, you gotta show a little bit of class because that karma is a motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah, man. I just
Question, Mark, since you're on the internet checking this out, what was the
Mhm.
cause of death?
Yes,
Do we know?
hold on. I think it was, suffering a stroke. I don't think they officially released
No,
it.
I didn't see that they stated it yet.
yeah,
Yeah.
complications from a stroke.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah, yeah, man. So shout out to Irv Gotti and his family, man. Prayers up. That's to his family. That sucks. Always losing a loved one. Um, so since we usually do pass the ox first to start off, let's dedicate this pass the ox to Irv Gotti and Murder Inc. And let's talk about some of our favorite Murder Inc. or not even just Murder Inc. Because Irv Gotti also gave us DMX. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He signed it. Yeah.
Yeah, like Irv Gotti put DMX on. So as a CEO, give us some of your favorite Irv Gotti, anything under his umbrella, songs, moments, interviews, things that he said that was funny because he was a funny dude.
Mhm.
So I'll start. Before Ja Rule got murdered, Ja Rule was that dude for a hot second.
yeah,
Ja Rule probably would have been considered maybe number 3 at the time, like Jay-Z, Nas, Ja. And this is at the time that he was on records with Jay. Him and Jay-Z had records together. You know what I mean? They had like a rapport. But I remember one song where I was like, "Oh, this dude's kind of dope." Was "Holla Holla." That was my joint.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah,
Holla Holla, no 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 no. That was my
yeah,
joint.
dollars.
This murder. That Ja Rule, I like because after that he turned to the super singing Ja Rule, but I
Mhm.
like that Ja Rule. The
That
one,
raw, gritty New
yeah,
York
holla
Ja
holla.
Rule.
Can I get her? What? When he was on Can I
Yeah,
Get It? Like that Ja, I like that Ja. I mean, Herb also bought you Ashanti.
yeah,
And Ashanti had some hits, say what you will, if you like her or not as an artist.
yeah.
Ashanti had a crazy run. Um, who else did Herb bring us? What else did Herb bring?
Did he bring us Lil Mo, or was that Fat? Or who brought us
No,
Lil Mo for a little
it
bit?
was actually Sylvia Rome.
Okay,
Well, he produced uh what's the Fat Joe joint? What's love? What's
Yeah,
love?
yep.
yeah,
Yeah, he produced a bunch of hits too.
Mm.
Like he produced a bunch of big records, man.
yeah.
Do you think his impact has been quashed a little bit because of the G Unit 50 Cent beef?
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Good one. Yep, Westerfield. Lloyd. Lloyd had jams. He bought us Lloyd.
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah, y'all think his legacy was like a little tainted because of the
yeah. Definitely, he got dragged.
yeah.
He got dragged, and then instead of I think the other thing too is right because like you the head of what's going on, and I think although 50 was doing was throwing some heavy punches, I think had Ja stayed the course, he would have been okay. But because Ja didn't stay the course, and you oversee Ja, because you didn't help him stay the course, he took 50 took the whole Murder Inc. damn near down, except for Ashanti.
Yeah,
Yeah, everybody took strays except for her.
yeah, yeah. You're right. Murder.
Yeah.
They didn't. I don't think they recovered.
No. But the one thing that I like about Irvin, I appreciate is about the early 2000s. The one thing that you could depend on was, like, I feel like now, right? And maybe it just could be because I'm aging or whatnot, but I remember what it used to be like to feel the summer coming along. And sometimes I associate music with the summer. And the one thing you could depend on Murder Inc., it seemed like Murder Inc. in the early 2000s always had a summer hit. There was a song, whether it was Ja Ashanti producing the J-Lo jam, like there was something that he was going to do that was going to be on rotation for the summer. And that's why I appreciated about Murder Inc. was being able to create that type of music for those early 2000s and my young adulthood.
That's a good call out because he did. They often had the summer jams, right?
Yep.
They was able to bring the summer all the way till the joint with Bobby Brown when everybody was coked up in the video. When he jumped off that helicopter, Thug Lovin'. The Thug Lovin' video. I'll never forget that. Stephanie said Murder Inc. always had the summer hits. Oh, they had Sammy too. You're right. Sure did. Ja Rule, Ashanti kept them coming. And the Fat Joe summer joints. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm looking at his discography right now. And
Run some of them up for us, V-Ray.
Oh shit! Let me go back up here. Excuse me. There's some I didn't even know he did. I didn't know he did. Can I get a what? The Jay-Z joint?
Yeah.
He co-produced that. I'm going. I got to scroll all the way back up the top. This motherfucker's long.
Man, I'm not gonna lie, but younger me, I wish I could be in a meeting with him and what's his name, Leo Collins. I wish I could be in that meeting.
Him and who?
Leo Collins.
I don't know. He did shit for Cash Money Click. I don't know how popular these were. For My Click and Get the Fortune. He produced Mike Geronimo. He did some shit on Reasonable Doubt with Jay-Z, a couple of joints. And on the Hard Knock Life, he did Can I Get Up? He did What's My Name by DMX. Mike Geronimo, he produced Story to Tell. He did with Ja Rule. And on the Belly soundtrack, he did a couple of joints. Flesh in My Flesh, he did We Don't Give a Fuck. He did a couple of Foxy Brown joints off her China Doll album, Hotspot and BWA. Though a couple of these were co-produced with somebody else. Of course, he did Ja Rule's first record. Memphis Bleek, he did 3 joints on Murder for Life, Young Thug, nigga, and My Hood to Your Hood. Old Dirty Bastard. I didn't know this nigga did some ODB joints.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, he did I Can't Wait, Rolling With You, and You Don't Want to Fuck With Me.
Wait, hold on. He did those?
Huh?
He did those?
Yeah.
Those are like
he co-produced them with
RZA?
Mr. Fingers. You Don't Want to Fuck With Me was produced with DL, whoever the fuck that is. I Can't Wait was done with that nigga Reb, and Rolling With You was co-produced with Mr. Fingers.
Dude, so in case y'all don't know, this Old Dirty Bastard album, the album Nigga Please. Y'all remember that album? This is the most classic. To me, this is the most classic album ever. And I'm going to tell you why. This album was not supposed to come out. The songs on this album are so ridiculous. I'm like, I can't believe he was able to get a label to put this album out. He had the single from with him and Khalees, Hey Dirty Baby. That was the single. But if you listen to the rest of the album, it is really unhinged. This nigga just jumped on the Pharrell beat and re-sung Cold Blooded by Rick James. And it's not even like, you could tell this wasn't supposed to be Cold Blooded. You could tell the beat was something, and he just like, I'm about to sing Cold Blooded over this. And the song that Irv Gotti produced. He has a song called Big Baby Jesus, I Can't Wait.
The second beat.
Fuck that, I can't wait. And he just sings Big Baby Jesus till he gets to his highest octave and can't sing it no more. He just sings this one line over and over. And then there's like a blues song on there with Lil Mo. She's really singing Good Morning Heartache. It's a duet. And he's just going the fuck off, sing on Good Morning Heartache. Like, I'm like, he was able to record this, take it to his A&R, had an A&R take it to the label, and they actually say, I'm putting this record out. If y'all ever get a chance and y'all want to laugh, listen to Nigga Please. That's why I can't believe Irv Gotti produced those, because a couple of those sound like RZA joints.
Yeah.
I thought RZA did those joints.
Man, I wouldn't be surprised if they did that album Tuesdays.
Dog, the album is so comedic. It's ridiculous, bro. Like, I was like, I can't believe they actually put this record out. But then I did find out later on, Old Dirty Bastard said he fancied himself like a comedic rapper, like how comedians made albums. He said that's how he wanted to make albums. So that's why some of the stuff is so outlandish.
Yeah, there's a video floating. I saw it earlier today where him and Pharrell in the studio, and he's like, I don't know what you want from me, Pharrell. And Pharrell's like, yo, nigga, be you. Like, and he's like, you sure? He was like, nigga, sing, like, be ridiculous. And then you see him grab the mic and he just starts being ridiculous. And you see Pharrell just like, yes, nigga, yeah. And you just see the encouragement of like this nigga's real personality. And so that man was wild. Rest in peace, ODB.
Yeah, hey, like I said, if you get a chance to listen to those records, I didn't know that Irv did those. That's crazy. But yeah, so Irv had a crazy, like, underrated discography, because there's a lot. I think there's just a lot of stuff people don't know that he produced, because he became known as more of the head of Murder Inc. He's not really known as a producer anymore. He's known as the head of Murder Inc. You know what I mean? But he was like, you know, he was in that era. You know what I mean? Like he's in that era. And speaking of producers too, like, you know, did y'all watch the Grammys?
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, that was disrespectful as fuck.
You talking about Babyface?
Yes.
Yeah, Babyface. Yeah, that was fucked up.
ODB definitely surpassed any comedian on record ever in regard. Yes, if you go listen to Nigga Please, if you're gonna be crying. Let me tell you something. Babyface is the king of unbothered. I thought it was Omarion, but it's Babyface. The way he said, y'all want to do that? Go do that. I said, I'm using that for the rest of the year. Go do that. You know what I mean? That was so disrespectful, bro. But that's actually not what I was talking about. What I was talking about, if y'all did watch the Grammys, Alicia Keys' speech. Did y'all get the chance to see Alicia Keys' speech?
Oh, no, I didn't see it.
Saw a video.
You saw a video? So she said something that I was like, you know what she writes? She was saying like how female producers don't tend to get the props that the male producers do, even no matter how big their impact is. And then she started naming on people like Patrice Rushen, Missy Elliott. Because to me, Missy Elliott should be talked about the same way Pharrell is talked about, the same way. Yeah. You know, because the same way Timbaland. Yeah, the same way. I think Missy Elliott is in that ilk. But I think it's kind of like the Busta Rhymes thing, where I say because his personality is so big, people see him as like this character. And I think because she's such a big artist in that character way, people don't know how serious she is as a music producer. Like, Missy is a serious music producer. You got the record she did for 702, the record she did for
Jasmine Sullivan.
Can We Get Kinky? Jasmine Sullivan, the record she did for herself. First of all, if you just go off of what she produced for herself and her albums and her records, and all the other people she tweet, Nicole Ray, like all the people that she produced, like
what's the girl's name from what's her name? Dark
Tweet.
No, she I can't believe I can't think of Kelly Rowland. She did a couple.
Oh yeah, Kelly Rowland. Yeah. Like she did, like she's done. Yeah, she did Nicole Ray Holt, and that album is fire. That Nicole
was that like 97, 98, I think.
99, yeah.
Yeah, it was like 97, 98, I think.
So she been having a run since 95 all the way up to Sierra last hits.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
she's had like a crazy run, but I don't hear people talk about her in the same ilk as they do other producers, like you said, V-Ray, because she's been right there with Timbaland the whole time. Her and Timbaland
Yeah.
sound very intertwined.
I think she's really regarded as a songwriter more so than a producer. I mean, although she's equally both, I think
Yeah,
she gets more credit
Yeah.
for her pen than she does for the actual production of the
yeah,
songs. I still think "I Need You Bad" is just genius. The one she did for Jasmine's record,
yeah.
that production, just super dope.
Yeah, I think
Excuse me.
I think you're right in that, V-Ray, though, that you said people do give her, because she does get credit and get talked about in regards to her pen. Like she does get her props in regards to her pen, but I think it overshadows, like people don't realize how much she produces and how dope she is.
I
You know what
think
I mean?
I think that's how she got that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame joint, is because of the songwriting. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But anyway, yeah, she's badass.
So
But I didn't hear Alicia Keys' speech, but that's very true.
Yeah, when I heard it, I was like, damn, that's like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's very true. And she was, because Alicia produced a lot of her records too. I don't
Yeah,
think a lot of people don't know that. Like I think she did
Janelle
damn near the
Monáe
whole
as
first
well.
album. Yeah, that damn their whole first album was all Alicia. Clive let her go.
Yeah,
So I think my question is now though, all right. So now like if we decide to flip the page, how do we give female producers the type of recognition that they deserve? Because nowadays, I mean, and like I said, it just could just be me phasing out with certain things. Like I feel like I don't hear too much about producers nowadays. Like you have very specific ones, but then all the other producers, I feel like I don't really know. So I'm like, so moving forward, what can we do to really give women their flowers when it comes to the producing game?
That's a good question, because I don't really know the answer, but I maybe it's this, right? Maybe it's having these conversations where we actually really acknowledge that, like Alicia Keys said, like we don't discuss Patrice Rushen and all, because Patrice Rushen had super smashes in the 80s. You know what I mean? But she don't get talked about like Babyface, or you know what I mean? Like Patrice Rushen had a crazy, crazy run. You know what I mean? And I just learned something about Patrice Rushen, just a little fun fact. What's the Prince song? I think it's I Want to Be Your Lover. I think Prince wrote that for Patrice, but she turned it down. So he ended up keeping it. He wrote that for Patrice. Yeah. But yeah, I think Sam, I think it's more of these conversations actually putting out in the forefront who did what and talking about it. And also the PR of these people got to come out and do a better job of pushing that issue. You know what I mean? Because much as we know Alicia Keys as an artist, they don't really talk about her production.
Right.
I think Missy does a good job of it, because Missy does videos in the studio where she shows she's going through her whole process of producing a record, and I think that's good for Missy to do. But even stuff like that, we need to find a way to elevate that. Missy, when she does that, because she's a beast, man, and I highly respect her pen. I highly respect her creativity on the production side, because she's done some things that I'm like, as a producer myself, I'm like, I never would have thought to do a record at that tempo, or do a record that sounds like that, or flip the sample the way she did. You know what I mean? Like it's
You know what may have to work, right? Because if you think about and I think Diddy might have been the first to do it, but I think what may also be important for women moving forward is, and it may sound ridiculous, but like, remember you had this era where producers was hopping on the videos, or producers would do a verse to like let you know, like, hey, this my ish. I'm on the track. And that was how certain male producers got recognized and became our favorites, because we were able to see them and see their personalities through. So I'm wondering if that may have to be something that women do. In regards to the past, it's just a matter of people doing their homework, and but in regards to like the future, maybe that's like women, just like the marketing part of it, like you said, like, hey, show up in a video, pop up, like something.
You can read credits too back in the day. So
and that's the other thing. You don't read credits no more, because you don't get credits really when you buy shit on Apple Music, or you buy it on YouTube Music or Spotify. You don't really get credits. You get like a summary of credits, like, oh, Dre did a couple records on here, and they started working on it in 2003. You know what I mean? So it's not like we used to go get the whole full fold out and read through all the credits, so you knew who did what records. We even like got to the point where we was knowing the musicians on the records. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have that no more. And I think that is to the detriment of people knowing who did what and what's up. You know what I mean? So that's a great question, Sam. Like, how do we elevate those female producers who coming out? Because I actually know a couple of female producers who are really dope right now too. And shout out to Rhapsody. She won a Grammy, much deserved. I think I think there was a lot of things the Grammys got right this year. And I think that's because, one, a lot of Black folks finally realized you had to be a part of the membership to vote. And they had a real serious campaign going to sign up Black musicians and Black artists and Black creatives to sign up for the Grammys to be able to have a vote. Because I kept telling people, I said, for years, you got old white men looking at a ballot like, oh, I know Will Smith, so we're going to vote for Fresh Prince, even if it wasn't the best rap album. You know what I mean? Like, they looking at, oh, Macklemore? I know
should have never won. Should have never won.
Macklemore took.
Should have never won.
But you know what I'm saying? So that shows you what the voting base was. Like, well, my son likes that Macklemore. You know what I mean? So now I feel like this time they got a lot more of it right. I feel like they got a lot more of it right because you had a lot more Black voting members. So all my creatives out there, if you can sign up to be a voting member of NARAS, NARAS, that's the Recording Academy. NARAS is what you sign up for to be a member, to be able to have a vote for the Grammy. So all my creators, if you can, go sign up. Because that's how you kind of get a little power. Because I've seen a big shift. Like when Doechii won, I'm like, oh, some Black people in the room.
I was happy about that.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's some Black folks in the room. When Doechii won, Kendrick getting all of those.
But with Kendrick, I think it was a perfect storm with him though, because of that category. There was a lot of splitting of the votes.
Yeah.
A lot of what?
Splitting of the votes.
Oh, splitting. Yeah.
And I also think Not Like Us was the biggest record of the year last year.
Yeah.
And they ain't even close.
There was no song that actually shifted not just the culture but attention.
And like that song immediately got in the zeitgeist. When I tell you how fast that song became a part of that phrase, Not Like Us, became a part of the culture so fast.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And someone brought it to my attention today because I didn't go to the battle bands. I know you went, Dane, but I heard like even the bands had like T-shirts and things like that where They Not Like Us became a slogan. It became a mindset. Like, and I get, there was multiple bands that was on there on Saturday with T-shirts. They Not Like Us. We watching NBA games and they doing commercial breaks and any of those breaks we hear They Not Like Us on constant repeat, and it literally took over the country.
Yep.
Sam, I'm gonna tell you a story, and V Ray is my witness to attest to how fast this shit jumped in the zeitgeist. We were playing the Dodger game that day. We were doing the pregame for the Dodgers, and we was playing the post game. We at the Dodger game after the pregame, so we sitting there watching the game, and my cousin Lil Red comes in and like, "Yo, Kendrick just dropped, and this shit is crazy. It's the Mustard beat." So everybody listened to it. Everybody put their headphones on. We listened to Not Like Us, and I'm like, "Oh shit, this might be the one." The end of the game, Dodgers won. So the song comes out during the game. The end of the game, Dodgers win. You know what the first tweet was after they won? They not like us. That's how fast it caught hold, dog. And everybody knew what the Dodgers was talking about already. Like that's how crazy that record was and how fast it caught hold. Yeah. And it ain't let go. And it ain't let go.
Nope.
Like, imagine being at the Grammys, and that's all of Drake's peers. Mm-hmm. That's literally all of his musical peers, and they are singing A minor loud. It like nobody's holding back. Nobody. They know they on camera. They don't care. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like Taylor Swift is up rocking to Not Like Us. You know what I'm saying? Like it's bad, man. It's bad. That's bad.
But
And
wait,
it's,
no,
every time you think the song is dead, it gets another moment. And
no.
I go to your point, Sam, how you said like, oh, it was on TNT on the show with Shaq and Ernie. It was on, you know what I'm saying? It was on it's gonna be on the NFL halftime show, one of the biggest stages ever, a week after winning all them Grammys. So it's like every time you think it's about to peter out, it gets new life, even if it's new life because another Kendrick single comes out. Another
Mhm.
Kendrick single comes out, Not Like Us still gets new life based on that. You know what I mean? And so that's why I'm like, how does Drake come back from this? Because to me, the most damaging record before this, the most damaging diss record to a career and like was Ice Cube's No Vaseline.
Vaseline.
He ended NWA. He basically ended NWA with that record. And it was 1 verse 4. It literally was 1 verse 4 and No Vaseline. To me, that was the most damaging record. And Not Like Us is like 10 times more damaging and 10 times bigger than No Vaseline was in that moment. Because No Vaseline stayed very hip-hop. No Vaseline was a very hip-hop thing. This Not Like Us got middle school kids singing it. This, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is not just a hip-hop thing. It's a pop thing. It's a white kid thing. It's a black kid thing. You know what I mean? It's like Shannon said, Not Like Us went worldwide.
It's a global phenomenon.
It's a global phenomenon. So how do you as Drake come back from this and people don't just scream A minor every time you're trying to do a show? You know what I'm saying? What do y'all think the formula is for Drake to survive?
Why not just get a visual of him being in concert and just the crowd just singing, "Hey, my boo." I told you, man. If I was Drake, like I said, first of all, take your L like a man, right? If you think about what hip hop is and the genre and the history of battles and whatever else, those who like survive are the ones who really just take it on the chin and say, kudos, like congratulations. You know, you ain't got to be friends, you ain't got to be homies. Maybe down at, well, first of all, I think Kendrick he too petty for him to ever reconciliate with Drake. But I think it's like I said, Drake, you take your L, you lay low for a little bit, and when you do come back, you don't come back to try to be the version of you that Kendrick killed off, right? The tough guy, the I want to be in Houston, the Jay Prince. I'll cut all that shit out. Go back to your love song. Go back to being the corny dude who was pop locking in the Chris Brown video that we liked. You know what I'm saying? Be the little champagne poppy dude who, you know, make those hits because you are a good writer. I know over the years, you know, you got busy and other people have started writing for you, but for the most part, you have good concepts and people relate to it. Go back to that person, stay there, live there, and have a decent career. Like, I don't think you're ever gonna be the same Drake, but you can still be a decent career and still make your money. But
We could be
man,
like Chris a few years after the Rihanna thing. He just got it.
yeah, just hey man, let the
but,
thing burn. Take it on the chin.
But how damaging is the suing shit? How damaging is that to his life?
Very.
You know what I mean, how damaging is that?
Very.
Yeah, I mean the credibility is just gone. I mean, he was already looking bad, but it's still, at least he was still credible as an artist. I mean, he's with his history, but that shit just seemed like such a bitch move, a public one. You know what I mean? That it's hard to reel that back in. You can't unring that bell. And I agree. That dude he's not gonna, first off, in my opinion, at this point, he's probably not gonna come back because the things he needs to do to come back, he's not gonna be willing to do those, which is shut the fuck up, you know what I'm saying? And just totally go away. You gotta, like, that house burned all the way down. You gotta pop up in a whole different area. And like Sam said, it would behoove him to do something familiar, like the stuff that he made his bones on, you know, and that was good. That was good material, melodic. You know what I'm saying? It was club shit, whatever. There's a roadway back, but I think if he can't be the tough guy baller intellectually overtaking Kendrick Lamar and all that shit like that. He ain't gonna do it because he wants to come out looking like a winner, and that part is just not in the cards for him. Come on, Rob. I know you got something, baby.
Yeah, go ahead, Rob. Go ahead, Rob.
I think there are multiple things that has to be done. A is that he has to have a strong manager. He has to have a strong manager that can actually tell him no. Number two, he has to reconcile with the label. Whatever damage, whatever it is that was done, he needs to reconcile with the label. Three, he needs to rebrand himself, come in a manner that no one has never seen before. The tough guy stuff is gone. He actually needs to mature. Four, he has to humble himself, and unfortunately, he's not that type of person.
Nope.
Yeah, I heard he just put out a record with Party Next Door, and they supposed to be putting an album out.
Yeah, they're putting out an album.
Wait a minute.
Wait, babe.
He's putting out an album next Friday, and they said that in the tour, he also said that his next solo project is coming soon. And I was like, you just don't listen. Truthfully speaking, I think he needs to just act. I think he needs to step away from music.
I don't think he even need to. We don't need to see him. Like,
he need to go away.
Go sit down somewhere.
A year off.
He's not going to do that. He's so.
I know. That's why I said
he's so addicted to the limelight.
To me, this is like his audience is like the kid, and he's the dad, and you go and tell your dad something happened, and your dad goes outside and get his ass whooped right in front of the kids and shit. You can't, it's hard to take that back and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you can't unring that bell, so you got to disappear off the landscape.
And come back with some fire.
Right.
Like disappear and come back with fire.
Exactly. Something just undeniable.
But here's the thing. Okay, let's lay out the scenario. He drops that album. Let's say that album doesn't even break 150. Doesn't break 150. People start talking. The fact that people are going to be talking, they're going to be downing the sales or whatnot, that's going to amp him to like, oh, I got to come bigger. I got to do something bigger, as opposed to just stepping back and regrouping. Like, anytime in which you tell this motherfucker no, or there's some type of adversity, it's almost like pouring gasoline. Like, I gotta do more. He's
Drake is going to be his own demise because he feel you can't tell him nothing.
Exactly.
And then Ron said acting is his best skill. Look at his last performance. Shit was impressive to say the least. And they talking about like how you talking about, just to piggyback on what you're saying, Mars. They already talking about how his sales in Australia has been struggling.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the conversation you want to be had.
No.
At this moment, while Kendrick is literally like, you made him king, and now we watching you falter at the exact same time. You know what I mean? Like, we ain't never heard Drake had a problem selling tickets for his concerts. Right. And now it's like the day of the Super Bowl that you try to do your show, and that make it even look worse. Like, oh, you try to have a show the same day of the Super Bowl, and it's not even in America. Because in America, I will understand him not really pulling tickets in America during the day of the Super Bowl. Right. But you doing it in Australia and can't pull the ticket sales, like, that's not a good look. And that goes back even more to what V Ray is saying. It's like, nigga, sit down somewhere. Just sit down somewhere, because everything you do right now is going to be compared to every move Kendrick makes.
Now
everything. Go ahead, V Ray.
I was just going to say, if he would have been smart, what I would have done, since you got money anyway, so you're not really touring and shit for the money necessarily, is do Australia like a pop-up, make it a free concert. You know what I'm saying? So there is no record sales or ticket sales thing to be associated with it. And I mean, free shit, you're going to have a packed house most likely anyway. I mean, he's got fans. It ain't like he ain't got fans. But, with the incentive for it to be a no overhead concert, that would be a better look press-wise and how many, head count-wise. So if I would have seen that my ticket sales were starting to fuck up, I would have just rebranded that shit and made it a free concert, like a pop-up, link up with a couple of more artists, top artists and shit like that. Just like Kendrick did for the pop-up, you know what I'm saying? Make it look like some kind of big event in the name of Drake. Actually, I would have sat the fuck down and not done none of that shit. But since he didn't do that, you know what I'm saying? Since he didn't do that shit, that would have been one way to try to salvage the image, because he definitely didn't do himself no favors by coming out weak. We should have did a House of Blues size spot and packed it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
More than did an arena and had it half full or whatever kind of sales he got.
Yeah. Well,
Here's the dilemma of what you say, Vera, is like your ideas are great. At the same time, UMG is like, no, that's part of our payback. We're not doing anything for free.
Well, if they want to fucking resurrect his name, that's a small investment for the long game.
But you're talking to a label that use common sense. All they see is like, what's the red line, what's the black line?
If they would have been looking at the proper line, they never would let this nigga do a concert in the first damn place and shit.
Yeah,
this is
but
just
also
shut the fuck up phase.
But also, B-Ray, he got enough money to underwrite that himself if he needs.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That he's not doing it for the money, so he could have just rented out the spot. You know what I'm saying, and just threw a concert to give back to his support. The people that rode with him, or however you want to frame it. But you know what I'm saying. You could have done something different with that.
What he should have did. Well, so if you watching at the time, we didn't know, but we later learned that when Q dropped No Vaseline, Dre was like, nigga, this is dope as fuck. Like he talk about me, but this is dope as fuck. Like, this is a hit record. And he went in and Drake kind of conceded at that point, right. And what Drake should have done was, I get it's a personal attack on your manhood and he's questioning you because now you're getting these allegations kind of coming up. But what you should have did was you should have just bowed out and conceded and say, you know what? This is a dope. As an artist, what he just did is dope as fuck. I'm gonna sit down and I might even, if I come out publicly, I'm gonna publicly say this a dope record, because what it does is, you ever seen somebody like fall? And when they fall and they try to get up real quick, that's when they look embarrassing, because it's like, yo, you just brought more attention to you by trying to act like you didn't. Well, compared to somebody who falls and they just lay there for a while and they laugh and people laugh with them and then it's over. Yeah. That's, to me, that was what Drake should have did. Drake, you should have just conceded and acknowledged it and say, yo, he put that whipping on me, and it changed me as an artist to learn how to be even better. Like, if I'm going to do this, I ain't messing with no Meek Mills no more. Like and so if I ever get into this, Kendrick taught me a lesson and I'm gonna learn from it. Kudos to Ken. And then I think everything would have we would have been saying they not like us, but it still would have been a certain level for what because it was a dope moment in hip hop, right? We needed it. We saw a good battle up until that moment. It was a solid battle. Like, there were some people, who kind of feel like it was swayed a little bit, like we never really thought Kendrick was losing, but we did think that Drake was throwing some decent punches. And then that shit came out, and now you was a bitch afterwards, and now look where we at, damn it.
Now look at you. Real quick. Stephanie said he's gonna mess around and get himself in a position that he can't come back in music or acting. Nobody's gonna want to see him anymore. She said he's gonna be like Kumo D in that beef with him and LL, because Kumo D never really recovered, and Kumo D was dope as shit. People forget. What up, Don? He said UMG doesn't care about his name now. They really have his catalog. They don't care. They're gearing up to move those sales, streams, and merch to the metaverse or something. Again, that's true too. That's very true. Yeah, like V-Ray said, like you could underwrite that yourself. Underwrite a whole little tour where you just like, this is for the fans. This is for the people who stuck with me. Just pop up in the first 2,000 can get. You know what I mean? Like, you can underwrite that, and that will give you at least that'll give you some goodwill with your base. The people who ain't gonna leave you anyway. Go get some goodwill with your base, where they're like, oh, this is why I rock with Drake. Yeah, exactly. Because you at a point where you starting to lose your base a little bit. Right. People didn't deal with you anyway, Yeah. No, I completely agree with that.
Mhm.
I'm about to listen to some Never Was the Same just to reminisce what Drake used to be.
I mean, John, but you guys also got to remember how he was acting when this whole entire thing started. You know, the whole drop, Pip, Pipsqueak, pipe down. We're waiting for you. Got to remember how he was acting. That the arrogance, the ego, the bravado that he was portraying would not have allowed him to kind of step back and whatnot. Like he talked, you know, remember he was talking about don't make me push the red button, don't make me push the red button, and
But,
he had
but
and he had 50 putting that energy in his back. Like I heard the song Family Matter, it's going to be the end all be all. You drop that, and then immediately thinking that you know, okay, I'm about to end it, and it gets squashed. You don't know how to
yeah,
react after that.
I
well,
agree.
yeah. But the bravado and all that stuff is part of it. So I think he still could have did what Sam said and pulled the ripcord on that parachute. Even once he got totally demolished, he could have come out of it with, you know, that was a good back and forth and da da da, that kind of shit, and moved on with his career. Or even then he could have saved face when he shut the fuck up for a while. You know what I'm saying? If he pulled himself out of it a little more clean. If his pull out game was on point and shit, but he couldn't. He didn't do any of those things. He had to
What,
ride that lie. I mean, not that lie, but that premise that he established. He was like till the wheels fall off, and then the fucking wheels have fallen off and shit. It's like you can't undo that shit now.
what he
Shannon
should.
said. Shannon said Drake never threw a real decent punch. I knew it was over once Euphoria dropped. I did too. Like once he begged Kendrick to come out too, and that's what people forget. Like you said, Mars, he brought a lot of this on himself.
Mhm.
He begged him to come outside and fight, and then when he did come outside, he wasn't ready for the punches that was thrown at all.
He
It,
He
got
was
his ass
he
kicked and
wasn't ready
said,
for the
"You had
punches that.
enough, nigga. You
it's
had enough."
it's like and that was the thing, and that's the arrogance about it. Like motherfucker, did you not go back and listen to Control? Did you not understand what you were facing in Control?
Haynes said, "What up, Haynes?" He said, "I'm super disappointed in Drake. His was his it was all a Blur tour sold out Kia Forum 3 nights. LA showed him love, but not only Kendrick but Drake disrespected the city. I can't forgive him for that. And I'm glad you brought that up because dang, who said this? Somebody said this. They said Drake better make sure Kendrick is all right when all them boys go to Toronto. He said because Kendrick don't have to go to Toronto. He was like Drake and everybody who's with him and ride with him, they have to come to LA. If you want to survive, you have to come to the LA market. He like, so don't make it tough for Drake and them when they come to the city because you don't want them to make it tough for you when you come to LA because they have to come to LA. Stephanie said Drake could have said that was fucked up what you said about me, but that was still dope as hell. And then say, all right, I ain't fucking with you no more. He could have still saved face. Personally, his feelings would have been hurt, but he still could have had his career. It's funny
Yeah,
how we all know the moves he should have made except him. Uh,
but he wanted to come out on top. That was the problem.
Yeah.
yeah.
That was his problem. He wanted to come out, but he wanted to come out on top.
Beck said, technically, when Pusha T battled Drake, he opened up his chest like Obi-Wan did to General Grievous on Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. Tell me that Pusha T and Kendrick didn't trade notes like a last-minute test at a Washington High School science class. Kendrick studied Pusha T's diss and then went 25 times harder. Hayne, yeah, and he definitely gonna check in. Go ahead, Sam.
If Pusha had the cachet that Kendrick had, Drake might have learned his lesson the first time. But I think that Pusha, because we know Pusha killed him, but it didn't really resonate like that. You know, I think people forgot about that very quickly. But had that probably hit him a little harder, he probably would have learned his lesson. And then, you know, but he ain't learned his lesson. Nigga, you're
I
not a
think
battle. You don't battle.
I want
Your
to say
pen ain't meant for that.
I think
Well,
him so-called winning. I don't think he actually won the Pusha T battle. I think he just was more popular, right? I think
Right,
Pusha T had better records, right?
right,
I think that false win gave him some false confidence and security that I could beat niggas
right,
at battle rap. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like,
Yeah,
but Kendrick, he ran into a buzzsaw, man. He ran to the Showtime Lakers. Like it
and he tried to get personal too, and I think that ratcheted up the comebacks that much more. You know what I'm saying? When he started trying to mention his wife and you know what I'm saying, different stuff like that. That was like, I don't think he should have done that.
But
That's
personally,
like back in the old fake wrestling days when the wrestlers down and then they hit them that one time and they wake up and start kicking ass. That Popeye spinach mode and shit. I think he fucked up when he did that.
me personally, I think Kendrick wanted him to go there.
Probably.
Why do you say that? First off, how could you know that? But then why do you say that, Rob?
No, because that little motherfucker is diabolical.
I got my opinion on that.
That motherfucker is diabolical.
So you know how when you watch the movie The Matrix, you know how when you watch the movie The Matrix, or what's the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, or those type of movies where you watch it 3, 4, 5, and then you watch it a 10th time and you still learning something.
He falls over backwards in the chair. What was the name of it?
Yes.
Inception.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. And you learn something new, and you learn that the movie is so layered with its writing that where you have to watch it a new time to pick up on something. This is why I believe you, Mars, because Kendrick layered. It's so layered where it was like he was just waiting for you. So the red button, Kendrick really the one that had the red button. And then it's like, it didn't take him long to come out with all this. It's like, have you been holding on to this nigga? Because you it's so detailed and layered, and you learn. It's almost like you learn something new, and it's like, damn. Well, you got to go get research, and it ain't even necessarily something that he said specifically about Drake. It's some of his references and how he correlates a piece of his diss, and then you realize that he's also talking about something else as well, and correlating the whole Atlanta line. Like, you know, let me educate you about Atlanta, and then like drop the whole education, and then it's like, nigga, wow.
Well, and to both of y'all point, I do think he wanted him to go there, and I think he baited him. I think he said, "Don't say nothing personal," like, you know what I'm saying. It's all like he's like, "Don't say nothing personal," just so he can have an excuse. Like, you know how you already want to fire on somebody, and you waiting for them to say that thing so you can fire on them. That's what I feel like he did. Like, I've been wanting to hit this nigga anyway, but I just needed him to say that one thing to make it where people won't feel like I was bullying him and just fire on him for nothing.
Right.
So he said, "Don't say nothing personal." And the next record, what does Drake do? Because he knows, like you said, V-Ray, he knows Drake's ego. Don't say nothing personal. Drake like, "Oh, nigga, I'm gonna say something personal. This whole next record is gonna be personal." And it's like after that, he just unleashed on them. Like
don't say nigga no more. This nigga's fucking song like, nigga, I said, what the fuck?
What was so
Hey, how y'all
poetic
think
about
J. Cole feel?
Relieved like a motherfucker. That nigga was probably popping Pepto-Bismol tablets and shit. Like, please don't say shit about me, nigga. I'm out of it. I don't apologize for and everything.
I think he's genuinely conflicted.
You think the battle rapper in him wanted to be involved?
I think he wanted to be involved, but knowing that this shit was gonna go into the gutter, he's not built like that.
That's why I don't think he's conflicted. I don't think he's conflicted.
Oh, go ahead.
I was like, I don't think he's conflicted. I think once he saw where it was about to go, he's like, "Oh, this ain't no rap shit. Kendrick mean this." Because I think where J. Cole was kind of coming from, like, "Oh, we about to tap each other, like rap battle, tap each other." You know what I mean? Like, we about to spar, have a rap. And then once he heard where Kendrick was going, he's like, "Oh," you know what I'm saying?
That's why I say like Kendrick set it up.
I think it would have been a different kind of battle if J. Cole would have been involved. If the reverse happened, if Drake dropped out and J. Cole and Kendrick went at it, that would have been a different. I think it would have been kept more like the jabs and trying to outbar each other.
Kendrick doesn't jab.
I personally would have enjoyed that more. You know what I'm saying?
Kendrick doesn't jab.
I think J. Cole's pen is better than Drake's or Drake's camp or whoever the fuck is responsible for like Drake's lyrics and shit. And so that would have been an interesting metaphor and simile, and you know what I'm saying, third rail meanings and shit like that type of I think I would have enjoyed that better.
Man, I encourage everybody to revisit the Control verse. If that was a Kendrick jab, Kendrick don't jab. Kendrick comes in like Mike Tyson.
But still, when it started to ramp up, I think J. Cole could have rose to the occasion in a different style. Not really as personal, you know what I'm saying? And
But
kept it more like
I'm gonna say, Shannon, I disagree. I think J. Cole has it in him. I don't think J. Cole has it in him. Like V Ray said, I don't think J. Cole has it in him if it went where Kendrick took it with Drake. But I also don't think Kendrick would have took it there with Jay.
Exactly.
And I think that's why he kind of hit Jay like, hey, stay out this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think Cole is at the point in his life too where he realizes like where he would have to go to for him to be that creative in his writing to battle Kendrick. I don't even want to go there in my life. Like, you know what? I'm cool. I'm happy over here. I got my dreads. I wear regular, normal ass clothes. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing, married. Like I don't even want to go get that dark. So I'm
I don't think it would have been the classic battle we got if it was Jay and Kendrick. I don't
think so. But would have been some verses like a motherfucker though, bro.
Yeah, it would have. That's what I'm saying. It would have been bars, and I think the super hip hop head community, and I think this is the difference. The super hip hop head community would have been into it, but the difference is with Kendrick and Drake, everybody got
the world.
The world got into it, and I think that's what made it different, and I think that's what made it so cold. And I don't think it would have been that with J. Cole. Like J. Cole wouldn't have pushed Kendrick to make Not Like Us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like he probably would have pushed him to do like Euphoria Light, in my opinion. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it would have been something more like that. There was already bad blood between Kendrick and Drake, which is why the battle was exactly, Stephanie, a different dynamic. Yeah. Kendrick don't have that kind of blood with J. Cole, so the battle definitely would have had a different dynamic. That's what I'm saying, Steph. I think they've been jabbing at each other since King Kunta. How long ago did the King Kunta record come out? More than 10 years ago or something like that?
Yep.
King Kunta probably like 2000. No, probably like 7 years ago, 8 years ago.
Wait. Yeah, no. Let's see. Let's look it up. Let's see.
Has it been 10 years now?
I think it's been about 10 years.
Get that old, bro. That fast?
I think it's 2012, 2013.
Really?
Look at the year. 2015. 10 years.
Okay. Damn.
Shannon said, excuse me. Portland Tony told me Cole likes to ride the fence and he does a killer instinct to want to be the best. Oh, so you saying he LeBron James?
What?
Google actually told J. Cole to fall back because they are good friends. That's why he deleted it. That's what I'm saying. I think once he got the inside of what Kendrick was really aiming at, he got out the way. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he got out the way, which was a good choice. I think he made the right decision. I think he made the right decision for his legacy, and I think he made the right decision for the battle overall. Because think about how much more immortal Kendrick would have looked if he would have took out J. Cole and Drake in a battle. Like, oh, it came out 2012? Damn.
Yeah, because Good Kid came out 2010. It was because he does an album every 2 years. It's only the pandemic is what messed up. So we got a double album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
I honestly believe that Drake feels severely threatened by anyone he thinks is nipping at his heels creatively. If he thinks his status can falter, he's going to try and comfort you, which is bad. Because if you're somebody like Kendrick, as we see, it ain't going to work. Yeah, because he did it. He came after. They said Drake was sending jabs, even at Lil Wayne. They said Drake was sending jabs at Lil Wayne. Drake was sending jabs at Pusha T. He was sending jabs at Kendrick, but it was somebody. Oh, Kanye. Like he was sending jabs like at so many people. But so I'm looking forward. We got the Super Bowl coming, so I know we're gonna be talking about this again after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting. I wanted to get into these trade wars.
Let me make one more comment on the music side. Did you hear Wayne's announcement that he's dropping something tomorrow?
Oh, really?
No. Yeah, I ran into it a couple of times online today. Him saying, "Tune in tomorrow for some special announcement. I'm assuming he's dropping some music. The way his promo is like, so in case you don't know, I will not be appearing at the Super Bowl on Sunday. So, any of my followers that think I'm going to pop up, I'm not going to be there. But I do have a special announcement Thursday, the 6th of February. So tune in tomorrow.
So basically, he's scheduling an interview the same time in which Kendrick is supposed to be doing an interview. Okay.
Huh?
So he's basically scheduling the same time, a time when Kendrick is going to be doing his interview. Okay. I won't be
Kendrick
paying
is doing an
attention.
interview tomorrow?
Yep. The Super
Oh,
Bowl.
I don't know if that's part of it. He mentioned Lil Wayne, and that reminded me to mention that I saw that he's dropping something tomorrow. Something's coming. I don't know if it's a record or an announcement of a record, but something is happening tomorrow.
Oh, and Don, happy birthday, Beck Don. Happy birthday, bro. Send a shout out real quick. Happy birthday. Shannon said he a mark. She called that
Lil
nigga,
Wayne?
yeah, she called that nigga a mark.
I'm glad I read the comment, Dave, because you didn't have a good segue between that comment. So I was like, wait, Don Beck is a mark? Like,
oh, that's no, call Lil Wayne a mark. My bad.
got it.
Happy birthday to Don. You know what I'm saying? Big Don, happy birthday. And then Lil Wayne is a mark. Yeah, let me make sure I say that right. So Donald Trump starting beef with everybody. This nigga is turning into Suge Knight. He running the country like death row. You know what I'm saying? He got beef with Canada. He got beef with Mexico. He trying to have beef with Greenland, Panama Canal. He got beef with everybody.
And the Gaza Strip now.
The Gaza Strip. He said he want to take over the Gaza Strip. And for all those, Muslims who was like, I can't vote for Kamala. What did y'all really think that Trump would be better for y'all in Gaza? Like all the Palestinians who, all those people in Michigan and Dearborn who didn't vote Democrat for the first time in like 20 something years, like, and now they like, y'all got to do something, say something. Really?
It ain't on me.
Really? It's above me now. It's above me now. But so one thing I think a lot of people don't understand what tariffs are and what tariffs actually do.
Right.
So the people get hyped because he just throw that word, I'm gonna put tariffs on everybody. Like he throw it around like, I'm gonna put you in the shoe. Pelican Bay. Tariffs basically is a tax on imports and exports, right? So what he doesn't, I for sure believe what he doesn't understand is everybody you put tariffs on, we're gonna pay for it.
We pay for that.
We pay for that.
We pay.
Like you put tariffs on something coming in from Canada. The people buying it, let's give a straight up example. Say eggs coming in from Canada, because we get a lot of eggs from Canada. Eggs coming in from Canada going to Ralph's. Now Ralph's has to pay an extra tax on the eggs they're getting from Canada. Ralph's has to pay that tax, not Canada. Ralph's has to pay that tax. So after Ralph's pays that tax, who's gonna have to? They're gonna have to now to make their profit. They're gonna have to raise the price on eggs to $10, $12 what it is right now to make their profit. So those tariffs get passed on to us. It does not benefit America to just throw tariffs on everybody.
And you know that when they tack on that extra money for covering the tariff, they're gonna put something on that. They ain't gonna just say, well, it costs us 75 cents more to do it, so we're gonna raise the egg price 75 cents. They're gonna raise that shit like $1.50 or $1.25. You know what I'm saying? Just to sneak in a little bit more of a profit margin. You know what I'm saying? So whatever the tariff ends up being is the consumer's going to pay more than that in the long run per unit.
Yeah.
Trump supporters, if you had a problem with groceries and price gouging, you helped it even more. Right. And somebody said something about, oh, everybody gonna fuck around and find out. The problem is they fucked around, but now we're all finding out. Mm-hmm. Like we all get hit with these prices. We all get hit by the tariffs and the taxes that's passed on to us. Let me see. Stephanie said he sent all those Indians back to India. So many groups of people thought they were untouchable. It's foolish to think when people speak of immigrants that they're only speaking to the Latino group. Immigrants come from all over, and these people thought they were untouchable. European immigrants back, and they don't plan on it. Shannon said, "Thank you, Dame." Why it's not showing it? Okay, she said, "Thank you, Dame. Please explain tariffs to the people in the back so they can hear and understand." Yes, tariffs is not going to make America great again. Tariffs is going to make America broke again. Ron said Waffle House just announced a 50-cent increase on each egg sold.
Yeah, I saw that today.
So here's the other piece. The other piece behind the tariffs, Dame, right? When you think about a lot of where our stuff is getting imported from is, so let's say, for example, China, right? Because we get a lot of stuff from China, is the average amount or the amount that they pay a person to produce these products is, although we can argue that they're in inhumane conditions or whatever else, it's very cheap to make these products in some of these places of the world. And so for those Americans who don't understand economics, who think like, oh, well, we'll just bring those jobs to America. Well, guess what? You have to pay an American to make that same product. So what costs 50 cents to make, because you also had an employee that maybe also be getting dirt cheap. Now you got someone who's asking to make $15 and $20 an hour to make that same product. And therefore it then also impacts the price of which. So if it costs more to make, because you also have to, it costs more to make, and then you have to pay the person more to make it, then guess who also still pays for that? The consumers.
Yep.
Well, here's the thing. The hustle is going to be with AI. Half of those jobs, or when those tasks arrive on American shores, half of them ain't going to be people doing them no fucking way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't even order a damn burger and shit at the counter hardly anymore. The live person standing there talking to you will tell you to go to the kiosk and put in your order and shit. So that's the beginning wave of especially manufacturing to be done with robotics and AI and shit like that. So the human requirement is going to go way down, you know, because like you said, Sam, there people are bitching about minimum wage and stuff like that. And even at minimum wage for these companies in states that don't want to enforce minimum wage, even whatever the minimum wage is in those poorly paying states is way more than India or China factories are paying their employees. So somebody making $7.50 an hour like China, you're like, God damn, they make $7.50 over there in the United States. I made $0.25 an hour. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's still going to be a significant amount of overhead if they have humans doing those jobs. And I've already seen the technology for like shoe manufacturers and different companies that are doing shit. A lot of automotive assembly has been robotics for years, but now with the technology they have now, some of them jobs ain't coming over here. The manufacturers may make a lot of money, but the people won't really be benefiting as much.
Willie said made in the USA is always more expensive. And
exactly.
I can't imagine what a burrito is about to cost at Ramona. Those black faces they hired a few years ago are about to go away now. They don't have to hire them there. Yeah, because of the DEI stuff. California needs to secede from the United States. We actually have enough economy to do it too.
Yep.
It's gonna be a bunch of skinny motherfuckers walking around soon. Because, you know what I'm saying? Blood pressure and shit is fine as fuck because they ain't got all that cholesterol and shit, eating all that convenience, eating with convenience and shit like that because can't nobody afford it. Nigga, Thanksgiving's gonna be a Big Mac in some household. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
I'm glad to see these countries though push back.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm seeing leaders that I didn't really know was leaders, right? I didn't really know who some of these faces were, and now I'm all of a sudden to do press conference, and I see people with some balls, and they coming at Trump, and they holding ground. To see Mexico, like, hey, motherfucker, like this is what we not gonna do, and
Canada,
and America, and Canada, and we finding out real quick, that they holding it down, like they for real about this shit, and so I'm proud of those leaders.
But the shit is so far-fetched to begin with. It's not even like something that's based in truth to begin with. I mean, in reality, not true.
Yeah.
Because this nigga believes that shit. He stands in the mirror, dick rock hard, telling himself we're going to buy Canada and shit. You know what I'm saying? All this dumb shit that ain't never going to fucking happen. But So I mean, I'm not surprised that they push back on the shit because it's stupid. I mean, half of them, like over in the UK, they openly laughing in their parliamentary hearings and shit or whatever they call the shit now.
Yeah.
In the EU, they cracking up. The old boy from Canada said, "Dear Mr. Trump, fuck off" in the fucking congressional hearing or the equivalent of a congressional hearing and shit. They ain't giving a fuck. That shit don't even sound right to begin with.
And let me tell you the funniest part. Can I tell you the funniest part about all this shit? So he was on TV a couple of days ago talking about how terrible the trade deal is with Canada and how terrible the trade deal is with Mexico. And he can't believe this is probably the worst deal America has ever signed. Can I tell y'all who signed that deal in 2018?
He did.
Exactly.
He did. This is you're raging against your own deal. This is your deal.
But people are so willing to just follow him blindly. That stuff doesn't interest them. You have been president before, first off. So if you really felt that strongly about it, you could have done something about it. And you did. You entered into these same things that you're talking about. But the people following him, they don't care, man. Look at the cabinet that he's appointed. They could give two shits about, reasonable thinking, good policy for the country and stuff like that.
Stephanie said he acted like how we acted when we was little kids. When people asked us what we would do if we got into a fight, and we talk about how we body slam people, do all these headlocks.
That's a perfect analogy.
That is the perfect. Yeah. I'm gonna pick them up and throw them on the table.
When I see France, I'm gonna fuck France up. After school, France.
After school for 3:30.
Oh man.
Oh shit.
I guess they got it.
I'm like, bro, how are you raging against a deal you signed? And the crazy thing is, no news outlets is talking about this. He started a tariff war basically off of something he did. He like, this is the worst deal ever. I don't know why we even signed this deal. This is your deal, buddy. This is your deal.
He just be signing shit. Anyway.
Yeah, that shows you that he don't even know what's really going on. Like that shows you he has no clue what's going on in the country.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it means.
He knows the people that follow him not going to research anything that he said. Exactly.
But now the people are just going to do it. They're just push button ass,
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, man. The old boy Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and
he didn't know he's supposed to be over all of the medical and don't know the difference between Medicare and Medicaid, dog.
Right.
And you talk about DEI hires, people who ain't qualified. His whole cabinet
is DEI.
His whole cabinet is unqualified people who ain't did the job. You got a dude who was at Fox News, gonna be over like defense, the American.
Yeah, the Secretary of Defense. And there's another Fox personality that he's appointed to some.
And nobody else talks about that dude Darren Beatty, who basically said only white men should be in charge.
Yeah,
because they're the only ones. And I'm like, all this stuff that's happening right under y'all nose, like straight white supremacy. But okay.
Oh, Robert F. Kennedy said that some vaccines should be doled out in less quantities to black people because black people's makeup is stronger than white people's or something. So we shouldn't be entitled to the same amount of vaccines that white people are and shit.
And this dude's gonna be over medical. That's what I said, man.
This is the best episode of America ever.
Bro, this is scandal on steroids. So apparently Musk has a special position. What I need to know is what exactly is he supposedly authorized to do, because he's doing a whole lot of stuff. He ain't got no. Well, basically, they let him into the treasury. He can do whatever he want with America's money. That basically they just like, you can fire who you want, move people around. You show us how to spend money. And he's like, oh, don't mind if I do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like we got a bunch of Batman villains running the White House.
Right. And not even elected.
But not the real. I'm talking about the Adam West Batman villains, though. It feels like that version, not the Batman Dark Knight. It feels like the Adam West version of Batman.
We're part of the asylum in it too. Some of the folks that got let out the asylum.
Yeah. But why this? Because he's about to grift everybody, Stephanie. This is what y'all watching right now is called Ocean's America. This is the biggest heist ever to happen.
In front of everybody, though.
And it's only been 2 weeks.
And with 50% of Americans cheering for the shit, while they're being robbed blind at the same damn time. That's what's amazing to me is that, like you said, the who was it that you said got put out of kicked out and that was bitching about? Was it the Venezuelans?
No, yeah, the Venezuelans and the Indians.
Indians, yeah, the Indians is like the messaging is right out in the open the whole time, and then you're like, what the fuck happened to
what are you gonna do?
To Rajit? That motherfucker's gone, nigga. Rajit's on the plane in handcuffs.
So
He didn't
look,
waste no time.
No,
Yeah.
hey, he's doing what he said he's gonna do, and people surprised. This is what I don't understand because everybody thought he didn't mean me. He didn't mean this kind of immigrant, nigga. He said because they said I thought he was only gonna get rid of the criminals. I said he think if you're here illegally, you're a criminal. He thinks all of you are the bad ones. In his eyes, all of you are the bad ones.
If you're brown or brownish, or you have your last name has a bunch of vowels in this shit, that's some of the criteria.
And then he said in an interview when they asked him about, because the last time, he lost points and in the public eye from breaking families and whatever else. So he said this time around he was like, all right, well, I tell you what, I'm gonna do this time. I'm not breaking up families. You and the whole family can go. He's like, whether they're legal or not. He said, I'm not gonna break up families. So the legal ones and the legal parts of the family, everybody gonna go back.
Yeah, y'all can all go. Everybody can go. All right, so look, I know we do a whole Lakers show, so I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this. I really just want to ask y'all one question before we get off, because I know Mars is turning into a pumpkin soon as well. I want to ask y'all a question before we get off. Was this the craziest trade deadline ever?
It's not even over.
And it's not even over. Because did Zach LaVine get sent to the Kings, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah.
Today, that happened too, right?
Jimmy Butler's a Warrior.
And Anthony Davis is a Mav.
Valanciunas is with the Kings, and you all got Sabonis
is a Laker. Did y'all see any of these moves coming?
Hell no.
So we agree this is probably the craziest trade deadline, at least in our like generation.
Yes.
Because usually it's like one crazy trade, like one Pau Gasol trade, one Shaq to Miami Heat trade. It's like one of those. We had like 4 of those.
Yeah.
We had what, 4 franchise players moving around?
Yeah. And no David Stern just said nope. Reverse.
Well, just the fact alone that you see, right? Because normally if you see a top 10 player move, it's a top 10 player move because there's players involved and then picks involved. But I don't think we've ever seen a 3 and 10 move. What would we rank Anthony Davis? At least no, he's no more than top, like beyond top 10, right? We would still say he's maybe 9, number 10, best in the league. So to have a maybe number 2 or number 3 in Luka, and then to see the movement of a number 10, and then the fact that it was done the way it was done as well. Like, we all remember then we thought we were hacked. We thought Shams was hacked.
Yeah.
And so that trade, even if there were no other trades, just that trade alone is still mind blowing.
Yeah. And I put we lost name. Oh. I put something else. LeBron knew that shit was going down.
He knew.
That motherfucker knew.
He definitely knew. And then to me, I know he tried to play it off. Even if he didn't know the full details of the trade, he got some type of heads up.
Yep. So all that shit in which people have been hinting at, you can see him like looking at AD pissed off in games. It was just a matter of time. That nigga is a snake.
Yeah, unfortunately, I guess fortunately for me, I don't really follow basketball like that, so I'm all ears. But too bad.
You don't have a team, man?
Nah, man. I follow more UFC and boxing, and since the Chiefs are winning, I'm from Kansas City. Then I'll follow some football. Like when it gets down to, you know, like the playoffs and the finals and shit like that, I'll tune in to other teams. But for the most part, I mean unsolicited, unnecessary violence in my
Rob,
sports.
Rob,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go against what you said. I don't think LeBron knew.
Dude.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I don't think LeBron knew. We know LeBron was a big AD guy. Like, that's his guy. That's like his best friend.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. Two, I do feel like this wasn't a G, because they putting the GMs in the front too much. They keep saying like, oh, Rob and what's his name? Don from the GM from Dallas. They keep saying,
Nico.
we got a phone and we talk. Dog, this was an owner-to-owner trade. This wasn't no damn GMs. Because let me tell you why. No GM has the power to move a franchise player.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to pay him. Let's see what we can get. And then I think the GM, who has a really close relationship with AD, locked in on AD. Like, that's why there was no bidding war. There was no other teams involved. We didn't hear not one leak about this. Not one. We didn't hear not one leak about this. And also, Luka thinking he's getting, because they said, I think he knew as well. I don't think he knew, and I'm gonna tell you why. One, the way Jason Kidd looked at that press conference, Jason Kidd didn't know.
No, Jason Kidd definitely didn't know.
Yeah, Jason Kidd didn't. The way they looked at that press, Jason Kidd didn't know. The way LeBron has reacted since the trade, I don't think LeBron knew. And the way the trade went down, because if we were going to get Luka, the Mavs could have gutted us. Like, for Luka, that deal, we kind of got Luka for like the Powell deal. That's how I know it. Like, we still got draft picks left. We still got assets that we could use to trade. Nobody ever lets the Lakers get away with a trade like that. That's why I'm like, this was not a front office trade. And that's why I think LeBron didn't know. This was an owner-to-owner trade, and then they bought the GMs to like work out the deal.
Okay.
Because you're moving a $500 million player after you lost Jalen Brunson. Like, you think that GM want to be the guy who lose Luka, Jalen Brunson? Nah.
But here's the thing. There was also rumblings that Luka did not necessarily want to do the extension in Dallas.
No. Luka said himself. He said, no. Luka just closed on a $20 million house in Dallas.
Right. No, I'm talking about before, a year ago.
No, but I'm saying, no, that's not true. There's no. Let me tell you why. No, hold on. There was no rumblings. If it was a rumbling, that's a straight lie. Because Luka said he wanted to retire a Mav and just bought if he even had thought about not being a Mav, why would he buy a $20 million house?
There was teetering. The second thing is, you look at LeBron's relationship with Jeannie Buss. You mean to tell me you don't think Jeannie may have told him on the low?
I don't think because if she would have told him on the low, listen, I'm gonna tell you why. If she would have told him, he would have definitely told Rich Paul, and something would have leaked. And then you would have had a situation, because one thing somebody brought up, you would have had the situation, if this deal didn't go through, you would have had a bunch of disgruntled players on both sides of your team. Like the Lakers. Do y'all remember what happened when LO got sent back after the CP3 trade? LO was never the same after it leaked that, that he went to he got sent to the Mavs, and then they had to send him back to the Lakers. That is like, and we talking about LO. Now you talking about a player like Luka Doncic. If this deal does not go through and he has to stay, hell no, she's not going to tell LeBron. Because if she tells LeBron and AD is his guy and they got the same agent and this deal don't go through, you now have a disgruntled star. And the Lakers have been there already. Like, as much as y'all want to say LeBron do and run everything, y'all also got to understand the Lakers have been the Lakers before LeBron. The Lakers going to be the Lakers after LeBron. And when we make a big move like that, nobody knows. When we got Powell, there was no leaks. When we got Shaq, there was no leaks.
Mhm.
We like our biggest moves, there was no leaks. People just came. Like those little small trades we do, yeah. But when it comes to like those huge deals that we made, I think the last time we knew somebody was coming was LeBron. The last time we knew somebody was coming, but you think about all of our biggest moves, our trades and all that, nobody knew about those huge big trades. And that's why I say Anthony Davis has no reason to lie and say he didn't know. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing that Anthony could get out of it for playing along with the story of he didn't know. Like
Right.
maybe if he thought LeBron was playing along, but there's nothing. Anthony Davis is like, y'all, I was about to watch a movie with my wife when I got the call that I was being traded, like literally out of nowhere. I don't think none of the players knew until the deal was done. And the reason I say, because people are like, well, he probably knew. Of course, he probably knew before we knew,
Mhm.
right? We probably got the call that the trade was done before we knew. But I don't think he knew about the negotiation. I don't think he even knew AD was on the block. Because actually, AD wasn't on the block. They said that shit became a real thing once he said, well, would you take Luka?
Mhm.
Before that, AD wasn't even on the block. So I really don't think LeBron knew.
I don't know. I hear what you're saying, but this motherfucker has just been a snake in deals and whatnot, and I feel that he knew.
No, I don't. Not the way this broke. Not the way this broke, and not the way because the way LeBron usually responds when there's a big trade, even if it's his friends, because we've seen him trade his friends away before. That nigga be excited immediately. Every time he's lost his friends in the trade, he'll be like, yes, this is the business of the NBA, but we looking forward to the rest of like he's not even behaving like that in this one. This one I could see this is the first time I seen him be like, yeah, I'm shook. I'm shook by this trade. He's never responded like that ever in his 20-year career. Why would he do that now? Why would he respond differently now in his 20-year career when he's
when I say that he knew, I'm not saying that he knew in the sense that he was pushing for it. I'm saying he knew in the sense that it was presented to him that this is what is about to go down.
No, I think he got it after it went down because they said they did the deal and took it to Rich Paul. I think he got it again. This was a BI got traded to Toronto. Damn.
Wait, what?
BI got traded to Toronto. Brandon Ingram. Maybe he thought he was going to retire with his friend. I know for sure Anthony Davis thought he was going to retire here. Also, because Anthony Davis just closed on a $32 million mansion here in LA.
Yeah.
For Bruce Brown and Olynyk.
Why the fuck would they trade? Oh my God, I need to be a GM.
All right. Thank you everybody for joining. This was a great show. Sam, you got to come back, bro, when you got time. I know you be hella busy all the time, but you got to come back and rock with us when you got some time, man. This was a great show. We'll be back next Wednesday. Wild Bunch new music coming soon. Make sure y'all follow us on all socials. We'll see y'all next time.
I think we should talk Monday night about the Super Bowl performance.
I'm down to go on Monday after the Super Bowl. If y'all down, let me know. We can do a special Monday post Super Bowl game show. I'm ready.
I'm down.
I'm with it.
I'll be out of town, but I'll listen in after the fact. I'll be traveling.
Especially V-Ray.
Yeah, you know that's my sport. Bring me back.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Until next time.
All right, y'all. Good show.
Ciao.
All right, Sam.
Stop the world, let me a music podcast for the culture. Wild Wild Thoughts.